Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI. I'm Elaine Chang-Baxter, the Director of Partnerships for Montgomery County Public Schools. With us in the studio today is Debbie Feinstein. Debbie is the Chief of the Special Victims Division at the Montgomery County State's Attorney's Office. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you tell us about your role and the initiatives that you've been involved in?
Sure. So I wanted to talk to you today about the Choose Respect initiative, which is a countywide free initiative, which is aimed at preventing teen dating violence.
Oh, wow.
Many people don't realize that teen dating violence occurs sort of in the same amount. The incidence is the same as it is with adults. So for example, 1 in 3 adults and 1 in 3 teenagers are directly impacted by domestic violence in some form. Yeah. And that it includes physical, emotional, sexual, financial, technological, which is a big one right now with the social media.
Wow. So you have a Choose Respect conference coming up. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Who gets to attend? When is it?
Sure. On April 7th, so just a couple weeks from now, at Richard Montgomery High School from about 12:30 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we have a conference for teens grades 6 through 12, their parents, educators, youth service providers. And again, the purpose is to focus on what are the signs of teen dating abuse? How can you recognize it? How can you help a friend? How can you help yourself? What are what resources are available in the county to help you, and really just to bring awareness to this issue, because I think people don't realize how often it occurs.
Wow. And how common, well, you just said it was 1 in 3 for dating.
For all forms of abuse, but with respect to physical violence, which I think is sort of the one that people can see outwardly, 1 in 10 teens, and that's a statistic that's nationwide and actually has also been looked at in Maryland, and 1 in 10 teenagers are actually the victim of physical violence as a result of dating abuse specifically, which again is also really high. And I think it's also important to mention that boys and girls are affected in similar numbers.
What are some signs of someone being abused? And again, abuse is in lots of different forms, but what are some signs that a friend or a family member could pay attention to?
So I think, well, first of all, if there's obvious injuries that don't make sense and that are getting explained in a way that really isn't consistent with what the explanation is. But I think the real big signs are withdrawal, changes in behavior, patterns, not seeing friends as much, isolation, particularly when a new dating partner has come into the picture. So to give you an example, I've talked to teens that have begun to date someone. The person that they're dating has convinced them that they're not worth it. They shouldn't hang out with their friends. They should only hang out with the dating partner. And if they don't, the dating partner is going to leave them, and they'll have no one because they're a terrible person or whatever it is. But it's all about this power and control. So isolation is a big one. Changes in appetite, changes in grades, changes in mood. Those are all things to look for.
And so it's challenging as a middle school, high school friend, if I'm noticing this withdrawal, what can I do as a friend to support my friend, and especially if my friend says keep everything confidential? What does a friend do?
I think the first thing to do is to say, I noticed that, and you say, I noticed that you're feeling sad, or that I don't see you as much. And then follow it up with, I'm concerned about you. I'm here to help you. I'm happy to go with you to talk to the guidance counselor. Let's talk to your parents. Let's talk to a trusted adult. Try to identify someone that the student that's being affected could talk to that makes sense. Maybe it could be a coach, an after-school activities person, but some adult that they could connect with, and to encourage them not to keep quiet, that they shouldn't have to deal with all this alone, because it's a lot. The thing that I think that we all want to say sometimes is, why are you with this person if they treat you this way? You don't deserve that, of course, but the why are you with this person, you should leave this person, is actually probably the opposite of what you should say. What you should say is all support. I believe in you, I care about you, I want to help you get help. let's go talk to the guidance counselor, or go to the guidance counselor yourself and get resources that you can hand your friend. There are free hotlines, there are text lines that teenagers can text to and get confidential help, talk about safety planning, so they don't have to even reveal their identity in order to get help to get out.
That's good to know. What are some signs of someone that's the actual abuser?
So, I think, first of all, they're often hard to detect because someone that is engaging in that kind of power and control dynamic may go at great lengths to sort of hide that part of them. On the other hand, I think it can also be detected because you may see someone mistreating their partner, or again, isolating their partner, or in certain instances see them, physically abuse them, whether it could be just a pinch, it could be a slight slap, it could be an inappropriate touch, something like that. But it's really just to be aware of the whole dynamic.
You had mentioned some community resources, but I don't know if you wanted to add on any other, just
I'm happy to be specific.
Sure.
So we're really lucky in this county to have the Family Justice Center, which is located in downtown Rockville, right near the Metro. And it's a one-stop shop, wraparound services for adults, and then it helps direct teens to counseling and services as well. But it really offers, again, free, confidential resources for safety planning. And then also if there are additional issues with respect to housing or needing to get a protective order, things like that, all of that information and support can be found at the Family Justice Center for parents and for teens. I would also note that the House of Ruth is another great resource, and the Jewish Coalition Against Domestic Abuse, who doesn't just treat teens that are of that particular faith, but is, again, a confidential resource in the county that does direct teen counseling and support.
The Family Justice Center, are the hours?
So the hours are 8:30 to 6 at the Family Justice Center, and then the Crisis Center in Montgomery County is open 24 hours a day. But if you were to call the Family Justice Center when it wasn't open, it would roll over to the Crisis Center. But you can just walk into the Family Justice Center. You don't have to have an appointment. Someone will be there to talk to you.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate this, and we hope that the conference goes really smoothly.
Thank you, and I hope that people will go to our website through Choose Respect Montgomery and find out more and learn about the conference. Again, it's free. You can pre-register for it. There are SSL hours for students, pizza giveaways, in addition to the important content that we're going to talk about.
Right, it just sounds like an amazing conference. Thank you so much for everything that you've shared.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I'm Elaine Chang-Baxter, Director of Partnerships. Join us next time on FYI.